I made the first string, well, we only had one string, basketball team. And we had a real good team. We had several juniors and seniors, and I managed to play with them starting in the 7th grade. Their first coach was Mr. Manning, and that's when we had the real good team, is when I was younger. And then later we had, and it was the principal too, Mr. Ross, and he was the coach also. And he was a good principal and a good coach. And sometimes they'd have to come pick me up and bring me to the bus. We went to state one year, and we were tied, and we were like 3 points behind. And back then we just played on a half court. We had the forwards on one end, the guards on one end. You either played guard or you played forward. Well, I started off as a guard, then I got to be a forward. So we were 3 points behind, and I made a shot at the very last minute, which was 2 points from the center line. But we got beat by 1 point. But anyway, that was a very exciting time. And another exciting time that I remember, we were playing Sarepta. So there was the team, when the ball game was over, and the Sarepta principal called my name and asked me to come back on the court. Well, I did, and he was standing there holding this big gift-wrapped package. And he said, "We have a couple here that like to watch you play, and they wanted you to have this." So I opened it up, and it's a dresser set. It's if you remember, if you know from a long time ago, it was the matching mirror, the brush, and the comb, and just, they said they like to watch you play. Well, I wasn't a very popular person in Sarepta that night, because I got some dirty looks. Like, how did she get that? And one of the girls on the team, they lived right in Dubberly, and her mother, on basketball days, we would go to her house, and they always wanted us to eat soup before the ball games, and she would always cook a big old pot of soup. And they might be 2 or 3 of us, you know, school would let out 3 o'clock or whatever, and we'd have to be leaving about 6 maybe to go to a ball game somewhere. So we'd go stay at her house and eat soup. So that was really a treat for all of us. Of course, a lot of my stuff did revolve around basketball, and this happened to me in practice. There was a loose ball, I dove for it, somebody else dove for it. They landed on me and broke my front tooth out. So I had to go to the dentist, and he told me I would have a little rim of gold around my tooth. Well, when I saw it, I had a solid gold tooth with a little hole in the middle, and I cried. So that's what I had all through my high school years, was this gold tooth. So I was really styling back then. I just didn't know it. But anyway, eventually I did get a white tooth. When I was growing up, I would start jumping to touch every doorway that I would go through. I would try to touch the top of the door. Well, of course, I couldn't do it when I started, and then, of course, I grew, and then I could jump higher, and this, that, and the other. So really prepared me for basketball, but I didn't realize it at the time. So after our bigger girls graduated, I was the center. We always jumped center, and I would be against a girl that's probably close to 6 foot tall, and here I was 5'5", and they'd just stand there thinking, "No, I got this under control," you know, and I would out jump them, and they were like, you know, "I don't think this is right." But anyway, I thought about it later. I said, well, that's why I could jump so high. I got married and finished my senior year while I was married, and I actually was told that I could get a $50 semester scholarship in basketball. But I didn't feel like that was going to be quite enough, being married and all this kind of good stuff. So I didn't get to pursue it. One of the girls I played with, she went on to play with it was a professional ladies league called the Redheads. So one of us did get to pursue it further. This one, I'm just not sure of the history behind it exactly, except this one has the year I graduated. It has the big D on it, a blue D. It has my name on it. It says Marie. And it's kind of classy. But anyway, I got different ones through the years. Through the years after I had gotten them, I have given them to grandchildren and whatever, and this is the only one I had kept, which I'm glad now that I did. But at different tournaments or whatever, they would select players to give a basketball to, and that's how I got the other basketball. So it was a pretty good award, for us in high school. So yeah, I treasured them. My dad came to my games. My oldest brother Leroy was athletic, and I was athletic. So, but Daddy did love to come watch the basketball games.